back to Secret Weapons, and today we're taking a look at the EchoFix EF-P3 Chorus Vibrato. Vibrato?
Huh?
Yeah, vibrato.
Why?
Because that's what it's called. See, it says Chorus Vibrato. If I had to name one brand that has impressed me the most over the last year, somebody that I would consider a relative newcomer in the scene, but like objectively new for me, it would be EchoFix. I got their EF-X3 tape machine, which you can see right there, earlier this year, and it immediately became the kind of piece that, like, when I end my career, that will still be in my studio. The single most impressive delay machine I've ever used in my entire life. And it's not just the tape machine in that thing that is so impressive. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, he agrees. You want down?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. It was not just the tape delay in that thing that was so compelling to me. The analog chorus and the analog spring reverb in that unit are phenomenally powerful. And part of what makes the EF-X3 so compelling is the fact that they made the jump up to BBD analog chorus and real authentic spring reverb in that tape machine up there. It is phenomenally good across the board. And recently on this channel, we actually demoed out their first kind of real pedal offering, their analog spring reverb. And what's so compelling about their spring reverb offering is they didn't just take the spring as it stands in the EF-X3 and port it into a pedal and call it a day. It was kind of changed around. In this, you have a one knob for more or less spring, and it kind of controls both the drive and the volume with one knob. The pedal version of it separates that out into separate volume and drive controls, and also offers up a two-band low-high EQ for the spring, as well as the ability to bypass the direct signal so that you can use it in reamping and wet dry environments. So of course, when I got wind that they were going to be releasing a chorus vibrato pedal, I got really curious to see what they would do with that sound as well. You effectively have a very straightforward BBD sine wave chorus in the EF-X3 with rate and depth controls and nothing else. It's a great sounding reverb when set subtle. It can get a little too much for me as you dial it way up, but as a kind of person who lives in the subtleties of chorus in the first place, it was a great chorus. It's a great thing to have in a unit like that. And like I said, I was very curious to see what would happen with this device. And this thing has impressed me in a big way. One of the things that, like I said, I love about chorus is I almost never want big, wacky, seasick chorus. The kind of thing that like modulates up and down by like vaguely a fourth, but never quite quantized. Things that get really jittery and shaky and like, almost cartoony and seasick sounding. Those are not the kind of choruses I'm drawn to. I like something that has kind of a shimmer to it, that has a sheen, that kind of simultaneously makes your tone bigger, but also kind of softens up the dynamics a little bit. That's kind of that classic 80s, the Cure style chorus that I really kind of like swim in. And this is not a hyper versatile chorus vibrato, in my opinion. This is a damn good, focused on the subtleties chorus. And I think that's because of a very smart implementation in this device. What you have is your standard rate and depth controls with this cool little thing in the middle that will give you real-time speed feedback, flashing alternately between the X and Y axes, a depth control, and up here a wave shape control that allows you to seamlessly blend between a sine and a triangle wave shape. Like I said, this is not something that's going to give you sawtooth up and down, square, or random LFO. This is focused on, very subtle chorus sounds, the ability to kind of go between a nice round sine and progressively sharpen that into a more focused triangle waveform. And the final piece of the puzzle here is this resonance control that just kind of increases the volume of your signal going into the BBD chips, creating a little bit more of a resonant thing where at its kind of maxed out place, almost drifts into flanging territory, but not quite. Like I said, it's all about the subtleties in this pedal, in my opinion. The rate can get fast, but it doesn't get jittery. The depth can get deep, but it doesn't get comical or atonal or like janky and unusable. It's a really great, straightforward, great sounding chorus pedal. And I think that's all I ever want from chorus personally. The final kind of cool thing about this is you still have that direct on and off control on the left foot switch. And in the spring reverb, the benefits there were wet dry rigs and reamping. In this, the benefit is access to a great sounding vibrato. As you know, chorus is just taking pitch modulated guitar tone and placing it on top of the dry guitar itself. And so effectively, by taking out your dry guitar, you take that great sounding chorus that we've been talking about, strip away the chorusing aspect, and you end up with a really vibey and cool vibrato sound. So this is very straightforward, very easy to wrap your head around, which I really like in a chorus pedal. And all the sounds are just very good. So let's get to our sound samples and let's give it a listen. As always, before we get into our sound samples, let's talk through our signal chain and the context we're working in. I am playing my Milkman St. Vincent Goldie into the 29 Pedals EUNA, the Bondi FX 2026 compressor, and the Electronic Audio Experiments Limelight. From there, we go to the EchoFix chorus vibrato, the Bliss Blooper, the EchoFix EF-P3 tape machine, back to our pedalboard for the Strymon Flint and the Bliss Lossy. From there, we go to our amplifier, which is the Milkman Beekeeper, and then to the Universal Audio aux box, where we're running a greenback 24 4x12 style amplifier cabinet. Here's what our dry tone sounds like. And here is the EchoFix chorus vibrato with no resonance, completely in the sine wave shape, with rate and depth set pretty subtly. And as you can hear, you immediately get that very kind of like 80s shimmer in a way that I think is so kind of gentle and interesting. We're going to kind of divide up these controls by starting with our rate and depth controls, leaving resonance and wave shape where they are. Once we've run through the min-max of our rate and depth, we will play with that resonance control and start blending over to that triangle waveform. I think it's worth pointing out how cool the kind of like maximum rate is there. It gets to this kind of shiver place without getting to something that's too kind of jittery or hummingbird-esque. A thing that I really dig about this pedal is the design of that rate control indicator. Direct on, as we're seeing it right now, it kind of looks like it's flashing top and side back and forth, but from different angles, you actually kind of see different sets of lighting up, which is not that important, but it is a cool, subtle thing about the design of this pedal that I think is really interesting and like pleasing to see. I really dig that. So let's take a look at the depth control, and you'll kind of notice that this is where all of that shimmer comes from in this chorus. And I really dig how even in the situation where you have kind of like maximum depth but minimum speed, it doesn't give you a sense of big pitch modulation, but it does give you a lot of that kind of classic chorus shimmer still. And I would refer to this as chorus for people who don't like chorus. This is the kind of thing where you're getting all that shimmer and texture and lusciousness of chorus without any of the pitch modulation, without running the risk of any of that cheesiness that some people associate with chorus. So before we jump over to our resonance and waveform controls, I want to go ahead and move over to the vibrato form of this pedal. We're going to take that dry signal out, and I think this will be useful largely because by removing that dry chorus or that dry tone, you'll be able to hear just the modulation happening in the pedal and get a little bit better of a sense of the shape and resonance controls being applied directly to the signal. So we're going to go ahead and listen to this as a vibrato because it's a really nice, subtle, comfortable sounding vibrato effect. And then after we kind of get comfortable with some of these parameters as vibrato, we will re-engage our dry tone and hear them as kind of big, extra lush versions of chorus. what I really appreciate about the resonance control in this pedal is it's not just like turning a Q up on a filter control and increasing resonance that way. It's actually feeding more signal into that BBD chip, and that's what's giving us that kind of like almost edge of flanging tone. It really is one of those devices where this is chorus for people who love the shine of chorus. Okay, let's start blending from that sine wave up to our triangle waveform. what I appreciate so much about this chorus is it feels like it knows exactly what it wants to be. Our wave shapes are basically being able to take a sine wave and straighten things out as you blend over to that triangle. We're not dealing with ramp up, ramp down, random LFOs, or square wave LFO shapes. This is just a nice, shimmery, beautiful chorus that allows you to make subtle changes to get the exact right version of this kind of chorus that you could want. And so let's take everything back to our kind of starting place with no resonance and just that sine wave, and kind of hear how these subtle changes can be applied to create a really specific version of a great sounding chorus. Because I really do think that great chorus is all in the subtleties. EchoFix. Can you say EchoFix?
EchoFix.
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 Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close.
I'm over there.